I'd like to introduce the pastors of Prince of Peace. I'm sure you all know the Reverend Richard Overcash and the Reverend Brett Ballinger. I'd also like to introduce and thank for their service to our church, our current church council officers. Sharon Elliott as our church president. Our vice president, Mrs. Joan Selby. And our church secretary, Peggy Roberts. Thank you very much for serving our church. We have a special presentation tonight by a woman that I don't know very well, but I've grown to love. Lynn Kiriakis has served on council and has been the chairperson of this 50th anniversary event. And Lynn, I'd like to invite you up here.
Because in 50 years, it's your turn. Brad Kramer, you're going to be the chairperson. Aaron Duffy will be singing with Synergy. And you notice that we have this beautiful banner here. This is our 60th anniversary banner. And Toby Joe Calvin, where are you? Please stand up. Toby designed it and she created it. We have some charter members here tonight that I'd like to stand and be recognized. And I ask that you guests hold your applause till the last one is said. Thank you. Ernie Baruther, Edmund May Dove, Bruce Mueller, Robert Quinlan, John Staples, Ann Stahl, Amy Stokes, Steve Williamson, Jim Williamson, and Carolyn and Robert Wurzel. 50 years ago, they were here. I was lucky enough to work on this committee that led us to a fruition. We started meeting back in January of 2010. So you know this group of people worked hard. I would like you to recognize them if you would. And if they would all stand, please. In a minute I'll find my notes here so I can know where they are. Ernie Baruther, Robert Quinlan, Dave Daly, Peggy Roberts, Rebecca King, who did I forget? Oh, Carol Hammer, I'm sorry. Linda Malmberg, I found my notes. Pastor Overcash, Joan Selby, Edna Stokes, Joan West, and Mark Mullen. Oh, Mark's not here tonight because he and Judy are at their retreat in Hawaii. But he said to come on down after dinner. So I thank this committee. I would like to have Pastor Overcash and Pastor Ballinger step up to the podium, please.
Here goes your 6 minutes.
Oh, they're not allowed to speak. We wanted to give you a gift that commemorates the 50th anniversary of Prince of Peace. Turn the program back to Walter.
Okay.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you very much. I had the chance to talk to Toby Joe after the 11 o'clock service today. And I said, Toby, you've been making banners for our church for how many decades? 2 decades. How much work went into our 50th anniversary banner? And it was 40 hours of her life was invested into that banner. And once again, thank you so much. So, Dateline Marlton, June 22nd, 1961. The Central Record. Lutheran Church to be established in Marlton area. Let me just read for a little bit. Reverend and Mrs. James Skelton Jr. are new residents of Marlton. Pastor Skelton has been commissioned by the Board of American Missions of the United Lutheran Church to establish a church in the Marlton area. The proposed church will be located near the Marlton Circle. This new mission is one of 70 to be started by the United Lutheran Church this year in the United States and Canada. Now, Reverend Skelton was raised in Jersey City, New Jersey. He's a homeboy. And he was a graduate of Mulliver College, which I believe is in Allentown, where I believe his wife is from that area also. After Mulliver, he graduated with a BA in psychology. He went to the Lutheran Seminary here in Philadelphia. He was ordained into the ministry on May 24th, according to the Central Record. He was ordained by the Lutheran Synod of New Jersey at its annual convention in Ocean City. See? You didn't think us Lutherans could live it up. They very clearly noted in doing my research for tonight and looking at old newspapers and magazines, especially the newspapers, there wasn't any fear of publishing phone numbers and publishing addresses. It's a lot different society today. But the article continues that they reside at the parsonage at 48 Radnor Boulevard, Heritage Village in Marlton. The young church is temporarily named Prince of Peace. Well, I think we can get rid of the temporary part. And it was to begin services September 10th at a location to be announced. So Pastor Skelton will be visiting families and meeting with interested people to offer his services. He may be reached, it's noted, by calling Yukon 3-8311. Remember those days when the first 2 digits, Bel Air 5-3517, Yukon 3. It was also, I also noted on the same issue of the Central Record, June 22nd, 1961, New Jersey Protestants to need 237 new churches. New Jersey Protestants to need 237 new churches. Wow. If we could do that today. And that's based on an average church membership of 750 people, and they have calculated by the year 1980, We would need 237 new churches. And in the article, they talk about how churches would be rural churches and small churches because of the influx of memberships. They would have to be welcoming. They would have to reach out. And two words to describe Prince of Peace, my church family, is welcoming and outreaching. So for 50 years, we've done a good job. Here's another article from September 7th. Yeah, I got a few minutes here. At 6:30, I'm not the entertainment, okay? At 6:30, at 6:30, Synergy will be performing. But until then, let me run my mouth a little bit. The Central Record, September 7th, 1961. Prince of Peace Lutheran Church, Marlton, will hold its first service on September 10th, 11 a.m. in the VFW Hall, Pine Grove. I guess a section of Marlton. Yeah. Really, I mean, if you got a good arm like Steve Carlton, it's a stone's throw from here. I mean, it's not that far. The VFW Hall. And having church in the VFW Hall is a whole different conversation. Maybe I'll get to that later. Leftover beer on Sunday morning. So it states here the planning committee of our church. Let me just read off some names. There was a F. Ashman, 71 Baker Boulevard, the property chairman. There was an E. Baruther, Ernie. Cloverleaf Drive, Mimosa Lake, RD2, who was also secretary. A W. Beeks from 140 West Main Street, Sunday School superintendent. F. Fellman, Elmwood Road, treasurer. T. Watson, 54 Radnor Boulevard, evangelism chairman. J. Williamson, Birch Lane, publicity chairman. R. Wurtzel, 18 Bellwood Road, organist and co-chairman with Pastor Skelton on the worship committee. We had a assistant Sunday school superintendent, an L. Sisson, if I'm saying that name right, and Mrs. V. McConnell, chairlady of the altar circle. Mrs. T. Bell, registered nurse, would be a nursery person for the young ones. And H. Van Arsdale leading the ushers. And it is stated here in the article that a nurse will be on duty in the nursery during the second service on September 17th and thereafter. Sunday school was first held September 24th at 9:30 a.m. The transportation of the children will be arranged by carpools. Wow. If I could have someone pick up my kids on Sunday morning and take them away for an hour. Oh, the good old days. Again, running my mouth to kill a little more time. So I think we said that a dozen eggs, 30 cents at the A&P. 1 pound of bacon, 67 cents. You know, they get almost $5 for a pound of Oscar Mayer bacon nowadays. You know what I found was interesting? In 1961, the world population was estimated to reach 4 billion people. In 2011, that population estimate is 7 billion people. We've almost doubled the world's population in 50 years. A little thanks and shout out to my Catholic friends. See if you remember this, you old-timers. Top-selling movies in 1961. The Guns of Navarone. The Absent-Minded Professor, Breakfast at Tiffany's, El Cid, The Hustler, you know, the full, what's his, Jackie Gleason, right? Jackie Gleason. Yeah. Which movie won the Academy Award in 1961? It was also... No, it's one I haven't listed. West Side Story. So, what were we watching on television? You know this up-and-coming popular medium called television? Black and white. Color TV was introduced in the early 60s, and some of these shows just drove the purchase of color televisions to this outstanding number, hundreds of thousands of units. You know, Best Buy probably does that on one Sunday. But anyway, what were we watching? Wagon Train, Bonanza, Gunsmoke. That's right. How about Perry Mason? Yeah. Candid Camera, Alan Carter. I remember Candid Camera. My Three Sons. Yeah. You know, when I was young, when I was about 4 years old, we had a family living next to us. There was a father and his 3 sons. And I swore, you know, they must film that show inside that house somewhere. I wanted to be part of it, you know. So what do we call My 3 Sons and a Nosy Neighbor right there? Andy Griffith, The Red Skelton Show. It's a variety show. What's that?
I said I thought he was the pastor.
No, that's a Red Skeleton. You tried your own trick. You know, the first in-flight movie was shown in 1961 on the TWA flight. So I think it was a transatlantic flight, TWA. It was also the year that the first electric toothbrush was introduced. This internet is great. You can find out anything. And of course, I'm sure you all remember Alan Shepard in the first U.S. space flight. Time is up. Yeah. Is our entertainment ready? Yes, it is. Oh, that's great to hear. Great to know. So, running out of material.
Good evening, everybody. It is great to be here. It's been a long time since I've been with you, since I've been with the congregation. Was baptized, raised, and grew up with Prince of Peace. So for many of you, it's the first time seeing you in a long time, and others, it's meeting for the first time. So great greetings from the New York area. It's great to be with you. In my time after, I guess, officially leaving Prince of Peace, I graduated high school in 1993, and after that went to Roanoke College down in Virginia, and then seminary in Philadelphia. Then spent a year in Bratislava, Slovakia as a Horizon intern teaching and working in a school there, and then into the DC Synod where I was in Virginia and Maryland, and now up into New York. I've been around a little bit. But in that time, one of the moments that really struck a chord in my heart when I lived in Virginia, had this wonderful relationship with our neighbors. And as Jen and I, my wife and I, moved into our house, we got to know Joel and Rebecca, who lived across the street, where, as I came to find out, Rabbi Cohen and his wife, he was the rabbi of the local synagogue that happened to be right across the street from my congregation in Woodbridge. Well, Joel and Rebecca were about our age, and we got to be really friendly. We got to be good friends and close, and we would joke all the time of how ridiculous it was that Joel's synagogue was right across the street from my Lutheran church. And each morning, Joel and I would walk out, we'd get in our cars, drive almost side by side as we went to our respective houses of worship. Wave to each other as we went into our buildings and then be gone for 8 or 9 hours. Then at the end of the day, we'd both get in our cars, drive side by side, and then right to our houses right across the street from one another. Well, after about a year, Joel and I were talking about it, and we said how ridiculous this is. What a waste it was for us to be driving side by side, paying for 2 cars, paying for double the amount of gas. So we decided that we were going to go green. And we decided to sell our cars, our gas guzzlers, and we'd share it, and we'd commute together.